Dossier fragrances Black Friday sales 50% off on their website. Try dossier.co.uk. Hey guys, have I got the bombshell for you today? Seriously, an exclusive thing which I found online, an article, and it seems that this is the only source where I could get the information from. So obviously I was not able to verify this anywhere else because it seems that this was in fact an exclusive on their website. But again, as I said, I was not able to confirm this, so I'm not quite sure. But either way, from the looks of this article, it does seem like it's genuine. So really, I want to go through the article with you today and let's see what we think. So this article comes from todaycnews.com. I'm not sure I've heard of this website before, and I actually came across this article whilst I was just watching a random Facebook video. That's how I've seen it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna check it out, read it through, and see what's all about. And it didn't disappoint, guys. So yeah, this is what we are talking about today. The name of this article is Exclusive Bombshell: Madeleine McCann's Family Home Sealed Off in Dead of Night Police Siege. Cops swarm with armloads of secret documents after 18 years of silence as shocked neighbors whisper the unthinkable. And apparently it was published just a couple of days ago, so 30th of October 2025. I haven't read anything about this in the mainstream media or in any other online news websites or anything like that. So this is basically the only one I could find claiming this, what the article says. In a development that sent shockwaves through the sleepy village of Rothley, Leicestershire, the long dormant embers of the Madeleine McCann disappearance case have roared back to life with a vengeance. On this crisp October morning in 2025, the modest family home of Kate and Jerry McCann, once a beacon of quiet resilience amid unimaginable grief, transformed into a fortress of secrecy and suspicion. Yellow tape fluttered ominously in the wind as a phalanx of plainclothes officers descended like shadows before dawn, sealing off the property with the precision of a military operation. For 3 interminable hours they lingered, their unmarked vans idling silently on the leaf-strewn street, headlights piercing the pre-dawn gloom. So in the dead of the morning, it seems that they were undercover police officers raiding the property in undercover cars without using any kind of sirens or any kind of lights to tip off the Mccanns that something is going on. If this is indeed real, I am wondering how come an order like this came, if indeed is true, and who precisely gave this order, because something must have happened after all of this time. I mean, come on, 18 years, even more than that. So yeah, let's see what else it says here. Not a single officer has barged since, and the front door remains stubbornly shut, a silent sentinel guarding whatever horrors or truths lie within. Eyewitnesses huddled behind net curtains in neighboring homes described a scene straight out of a thriller novel. Quote, "It was like something from a bad dream," end quote, murmured one long-time resident, her voice trembling over a lukewarm cup of tea. Quote, "They arrived in waves. No sirens, no fuss. Just these stern-faced men and women with briefcases bulging at the seams. I saw them carrying stacks of what looked like old files, yellowed with age, and sealed evidence bags that could have held anything from documents to, well, God forbid, something worse, end quote. Wow, you guys. So they again, I'm going to repeat this. If it is really true, we've got witnesses as well, right? And they give their statements to the press. As I've read from the article, all of those who spoke out, they spoke out on the condition of anonymity. But I am wondering if this is true. Is this house still sealed off? How come this info is nowhere to be found in the media? I mean, even like a leaked TikTok video from somebody in the area, right? Just recording at the right moment. I really don't know, you guys. I mean, I don't live close by, because if I would live close by, I would kind of go and, you know, double check, have a look just to see what's what, to get a feel of the place. But I don't live nearby. So I don't know if any of you guys live nearby in the area. Maybe you can kind of drive by and just, you know, have a look. I don't know. I'm not advising anybody to go anywhere. I'm just saying, out of curiosity, is there still a tape there? Have they temporarily moved to another house? If the police sealed off the house, and according to this neighbor, they collected a lot of evidence, including evidence bags and stacks of files. So I really don't know. If it's true, they must have found something, right? Because they use these sealed evidence bags. God knows what's in those, plus files. I'm not sure, you guys. I would really hope that this is indeed factual, true. I really hope so. I really don't know. I don't know what to think, you guys. What do you think? Whilst I give you a few seconds to think about this, let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Dossier Fragrances, and with thanks to Dossier for sponsoring today's video. I got from Dossier, in fact, I was the one who chose this, the Ambery Cedarwood for Women fragrance and the Fruity Almond for Women fragrance. And now, you guys, is the perfect time for you to get those gifts in order, because Dossier, they have up to 50% off Black Friday sale, which started already. So you get 40% off on the website, plus when you use my discount code CATSMAKEUP10, you get a further 10% discount. So my code is CATSMAKEUP10, CATSMAKEUP10. And the website is trydossier.co.uk. The discount code needs to be applied at checkout. And the fragrances that I have here are designer-inspired fragrances, although Dossier, they do make their own fragrances as well. By the way, their fragrances are made in France. So they do these designer-inspired fragrances at much more affordable prices, plus their own fragrances, men, women, and unisex fragrances. So the Ambery Cedarwood fragrance for women is actually inspired by Müller's Alien. And the notes for this perfume, the top notes is mandarin, cardamom, and orange blossom. Then we've also got the Fruity Almond, again, another one of women's fragrances. And this one is also a designer-inspired perfume or fragrance. And this is inspired by Carolina Herrera's Good Girl. And so you guys, as I said, get your gifts sorted out with trydossier.co.uk. Men, women, and unisex fragrances inspired and their own originals made in France. Take advantage of the Black Friday sale they have going on their website. You can get 40% off plus 10% off extra when you use my discount code CATSMAKEUP10. With thanks to Dossier for sponsoring today's video, and thank you so much guys for having patience with me. And now let's get back to our video. I still haven't finished with the article. So we were left at the neighbor's statement, And now, carrying on with the article, it kind of explains the atmosphere in the neighborhood, in the nearby area. So it says here in the article, the air was thick with unspoken dread. Children were ushered indoors, dogs silenced with hasty commands as the weight of 2 decades unresolved agony pressed down on the community. At the heart of this explosive raid lies a bombshell revelation that's ripping open old wounds and fueling wild speculation. Whispers from those closest to the Mccanns themselves. A neighbor speaking exclusively on condition of anonymity, out of fear for her safety, dropped a gut-wrenching claim that could shatter the narrative the world has clung to for 18 years. Quote, I've known Kate and Jerry since before little Maddie vanished. End quote. She confided, her eyes darting nervously toward the cordoned off house. They are good people, or so I thought, but lately, with all the new leads bubbling up from Portugal and Germany, I've started piecing things together. The way they checked on the kids that night, the unlocked doors, it doesn't add up. And now this, police hauling away files like they are excavating a crime scene. Mark my words, the parents know more than they've ever let on. I wouldn't be surprised if they are the ones behind it all, hiding the truth to protect their perfect image. End quote. So if, as I said, I'm gonna, keep on repeating, if what it says in the article is true, then as you can see, we've got even neighbors, their closest neighbors, kind of doubting their story. And the more that it's looked into, I think that more and more people are kind of convinced that it just doesn't make sense and something else is going on. Just like this neighbor said as well, she started looking more and more into it and it just didn't make sense the more she looked into it, right? And I could agree with what she says that the Mccanns, they could be hiding the truth just to maintain their perfect image. So yeah, and this kind of goes against what the Mccanns were saying for a very long time, that the close community or the neighbors in the surrounding area support them, and they are shocked that Madeleine Mccann was kidnapped and so on and so forth. Now, if we are to take this statement to be true, that would mean that there are also neighbors who don't actually believe them. So, yeah. Now, moving on to what it says next. The timing couldn't be more incendiary. Madeleine Beth Mccann, the cherubic 3-year-old whose sun-kissed face has haunted global headlines since May the 3rd, 2007, vanished without a trace from a sun-drenched holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal. What began as a parents' night out with friends at a tapas bar nearby spiraled into a parent's worst nightmare. Kate Mccann's blood-curdling scream echoing through the Ocean Club resort as she discovered her daughter's bed empty, the window ajar to the cool night air. The world watched in rapt horror as the search unfolded, divers plunging into treacherous Atlantic waters, cadaver dogs alerting to faint scents of death in the rental flat, and the media frenzy that turned the Algarve into a circus of grief and accusation. Early Portuguese investigators zeroed in on the Mccanns themselves, their arguido status, a formal suspect designation, casting a pall of doubt that lingers to this day. Theories swirled like Iberian mist, an accidental overdose on sedatives to keep the children asleep, a frantic cover-up amid the chaos of a family holiday gone awry, or even darker, familial motives buried under layers of professional poise. Kate, a former GP, and Jerry, a cardiologist, faced a gauntlet of scrutiny, their diaries dissected, their friends' timelines torn apart, and their every tear questioned under fluorescent interrogation lights. Cleared of wrongdoing in 2008, they channeled their anguish into the Madeleine Fund, raising millions for private detectives and unyielding advocacy. Yet, the scars run deep. The couple's twins, Sean and Emily, now young adults navigating a world forever defined by their sister's absence, have borne the brunt of hoaxers and heartless trolls. Fast forward to 2025, and the case refuses to die. Operation Grange, the Metropolitan Police's dogged 13 million probe, presses on with renewed vigor, bolstered by German leads on prime suspect Christian Bruckner, a convicted predator whose Algarve prowls in 2007 align eerily with Maddie's last known movements. Bruckner, freshly released from a 7-year stint for unrelated RAPES, remains mum. His phone pings, placing him mere minutes from the resort that fateful night. But today's raid shifts the spotlight inward towards Rothley. What series of documents did officers clutch so tightly? Could they be long-buried holiday logs, medical records hinting at sedative use, or fresh forensic revaluations from the Portuguese flat? Neighbors speculate wildly. One swears she overheard raised voices last week, another recalls strange late-night visitors in recent months. Which kind of sounds very suspicious to me. Seriously. So, this neighbor, she says that she overheard raised voices last week, meaning that somebody was arguing, right, quite loudly for them to overhear voices. Another one remembers strange late-night visitors in the last couple of months. So the fact that this neighbor remembers the strange late-night visitors, it could very well mean that they don't normally receive late-night visitors, hence this kind of stood out, right, that they had late-night visitors. What does it mean, strange late-night visitors? I'm not quite sure, but it could very well be that if indeed this article is true, then some people might have visited, come around, trying to chat with the Mccanns, perhaps get some stories straight in case of something, or maybe it could have been something to do with the reason why there was a police raid happening on the 30th of October. I mean, who knows? Unfortunately, as I said, I couldn't get any info from anywhere else, so I only know what I've read from this article. I was not able to verify or confirm anywhere else. As the sun climbs higher, the Mccanns remain invisible behind their barricaded walls, their silence more deafening than any statement. The global outpouring is immediate and visceral. Social media erupts with hashtag Justice for Maddie, trending worldwide, armchair sleuths dredging up grainy CCTV footage and disputed timelines. For a family that has endured hoax sightings, 12 false claimants in the last year alone, one brazenly demanding DNA tests, this feels like the ultimate betrayal, not from strangers, but from the very guardians of the truth. 18 years on, the question knows, was Madeleine's fate sealed not by a shadowy abductor, but by the desperate choices of those who loved her most? As forensics teams combed the home's nooks and crannies, one thing is crystal clear. The Mccanns' fortress of privacy is crumbling, and the secrets it once shielded may finally drag this tragedy into the unforgiving light of day. The world waits, breathless, for the next shattering reveal. I don't know about the world, but I am definitely waiting for the next reveal if indeed this article is true. I wonder what that could be. This is everything that's written in the article. Now, you guys, what do you think? Do we believe this article? There are some things which make me, in a sense, think that, it's a true article. The neighbor statements, And what they said, under the condition of anonymity exclusively to this website. Although again, I don't know this website, I haven't heard of this before, and I haven't found any kind of similar information from anywhere else apart from this article, so I really don't know. My only hope is that somehow this article is true and there was indeed a raid on the property. Now, if there was indeed a raid on the property, how come we haven't heard of it from anywhere? And what actually triggered this after so long? Is it that whoever or whatever system of people is trying to cover what happened, kind of getting fed up of it, and they just don't want to do it anymore? I have no idea. I really don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna be keeping an eye out to see if I get any other update. To be fair with you, I found this article yesterday and I took some screenshots. Actually, I took screenshots of the whole article because I was thinking, hold on a second, what if I'm finding this article now, but then it's gonna disappear and I'm not gonna be able to get it from anywhere. So I took the screenshots as soon as I read it. And today I wanted to go back to it and see if there are any kind of updates. I couldn't see it on the website any longer, so I really don't know, because I went down to page 10, I think, or 6, I'm not quite sure, but there are like thousands of pages, so I couldn't exactly go through all of them. But from yesterday to today, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the article is indeed gone, because we already know for so long there were so many articles which you were able to find at one point, and then when you wanted to go back to it you couldn't find it anymore. So yeah, todaycnews.com, I think it was the website. I don't know, you guys, have you heard of it? And also, what do you guys think of this article? If indeed it is true and the police raided the property, we might be at the beginning of a more transparent investigation into the Mccanns. What do you guys think? I'm not quite sure. I find it very hard to believe, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, anyway, you guys, this is it for today's video. Before you go, please don't forget, try Dossier.co.uk Black Friday sale. You get up to 50% off. Use my discount code CATSMAKEUP10 for 10% off. So now is the perfect time for you to get those Christmas gifts with Dossier. Men, women and unisex fragrances. They have their own, but they also have designer inspired fragrances at much more affordable prices. Thank you so much again to Dossier for sponsoring today's video, and thank you so much, you guys, for staying with me. Don't forget to let me know what do you think. I'm really curious in the comments below. Also, the link for Try Dossier is going to be at the top of this video somewhere. You will be able to click on it, and also in the description under this video. Okay, you guys, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye.